Hey, it's Tom from WPWithTom.com, and in this video I'll show you how to create a blog on WordPress. You might be wondering why using the WordPress platform is the one I'm recommending here, and that's because there's so much flexibility with this platform. You have so much more control over it, and it's very easy to use once you get the hang of it after using it for a few minutes. So our final website will have a home, a blog, and a contact page, just like this one does here. And we can go to the blog and learn more about what you really need to know when creating a blog for WordPress. I'm going to go into a lot of things that I think people just glaze over and some key aspects that you need to be aware of. So before we dive into actually creating our blog website, let's first go over some of the costs that are associated with making a blog, and then we can get started with building out our website. Alright, so here I wanted to go over some of the costs associated with creating a WordPress website. And the first thing here that I wanted to cover is hosting, and you can get hosting for about $5 per month. It really depends on what kind of plan you want to have for your WordPress blog here, but it is going to be roughly $5 per month depending on a plan. There are bigger discounts depending on the duration of the plan as well. There's also a domain name which comes free for the first year with the hosting plan that I'm going to be recommending here. So if you don't have a domain name, or if you want to transfer a domain name, you're going to get 1 year free with the hosting plan as a bonus. WordPress, and WordPress is free and open source. I did mention in the beginning that it has a lot more flexibility when you're editing or making changes with your website. You have a lot more control over it, and this free and open source software is amazing. So WordPress is the #1 blogging platform in the world as well. So WordPress theme, I'm going to be using a free one for this tutorial, and we're going to be using a free WordPress builder as well. So those are the costs associated with this. It's really about $5 per month to get started, and you do have to pay upfront for 1 year in most cases, just so you're aware. Next, I'm going to dive into signing up for hosting and getting our free domain name for the first year all in one stop. So let's dive into that part now. Alright, so the hosting provider that I'm going to be recommending here is called Green Geeks, and I do have a link in the description that's going to ensure that you get the biggest discount possible. If we go over to where it says WordPress hosting, we can get started here. Now, the things that I wanted to point out is there's 3 different plans. This EcoSite Lite plan has only 1 domain name on the plan, while the Pro and the Premium here both have unlimited domain names available. So that is the biggest difference here. As you can see though, it is more affordable with the Lite plan than the Pro or Premium versions. I would recommend, if you're going to have multiple websites, you go with this Pro version. If you just have one, there's no problem with going with this Lite version. So I'm just going to click Get Started here to get started with filling out this information. Now here's where we're going to need to register our domain name. Hopefully you already have an idea what your blog is going to be about here. And if you already have a domain name for your blog, you can actually transfer it here as well and take advantage of that 1 year free by putting it in this area. If not, you need to register a new one, you can put it over here in this and it will get your free domain name. So I'm just going to put in WP Wonderful here for this example, and I'll check the availability, and it says congratulations, it's available. It will let you know if it's not. And then in this area, you're going to fill out your information associated with the plan here. And right here, I wanted to point out that there are different prices per plan. So if you have a 3-year plan, it's as low as $2.95 a month. But let's say you have a yearly, it might be $4.95 a month for the plan. Now with the link below in the description, you're going to get the lowest possible discount that they have going on. And you also can add Whois optional privacy here as well if you want to keep your information private and not let people know who actually owns the website that you're running. That's something you might want to consider doing. So the plans can be as low as $38 for a plan, or you can get a year for about $70 here, or you can go for a whole 3 years for only $106.20 without the privacy. And that's pretty crazy because in most cases, if you're going to be running a business, you can never do it for only $106 for 3 years worth of hosting. So once you're happy with whatever plan you decide to go with, you can fill out this information down here and click Create Account and Get Started. Now I actually already have an account, so I'm just going to navigate back over to the home page here and show you how to get started with installing WordPress. So let's dive into that section now by going to where it says Customer Login, and we'll fill out this information that we just signed up with. Alright, so I'm going to input my username here and I'll put in my password for my account, and you should do the same right now. And then if you want to, you can click remember me. I'm just going to click log in here. And once we're brought to this page, we're going to go where it says cPanel right here. And this brings us into an area where there's lots of different options for our website. Now the important one that you need to know if you have your domain name elsewhere is you would want to go to where it says add on domains and then add your domain name to this area and then change the name servers at the host. Now if you just went through this with me and registered the domain name through Green Geeks, we can just go right down to where it says Softaculous Apps Installer. And then we'll click on where it says WordPress install. And right here we can input different information for our WordPress install. So what I'm going to do is go to HTTPS, and that makes it more secure for our website. I'm going to make sure that the domain name here is the domain name that we want to use. I'm just going to use this one in this case. And then if you want to, you can change your site name and site description. And that's what shows up here. See where it says Green Geek Softaculous? That's what you would see. Like Green Geeks would go in this one, and then Softaculous might go in this one as the description. So the first one's going to be the site name. Next is going to be the site description here. Here you would want to put a secure username and password. And this is case sensitive, just so you know. And here I'll put in something that I'm going to be able to remember. And you may want to write this down here. And it's a nice strong password. Here you'll want to change this admin email to an email that you're going to be able to retrieve the password at if you were to lose it. And now I'm going to scroll down from here. My site language will be English. You might want to change that if you want something else. And I'm just going to go to where it says install. And it says it's going to take 3 to 4 minutes, but it's usually only a few seconds to actually install. And there we go. So this is our login URL. So it's going to be your domain name. In my case, it's wpfundamentals.com/wp-admin. So it's always going to be, it can be .net, .org, whatever it is, /wp-admin. So that's what you need to log in. Again, I would save this as well as your password and login that you just signed up with on the previous page. And then to log into the site for the first time, we can actually just click this, and it's going to take us right into the website since it's our first time using it. Again, you would want to sign in with the wp-admin in normal cases, and you can actually log out up here if you need to log out of the website itself. So to get started here, we can actually start by installing our WordPress theme and demo content. So I'm going to go over to where it says Appearance, Themes, and I'm going to actually just go to where it says Add New right here. And I'm going to search for a theme that we can add to our website to get it started to look just like we had in the previous one. So right here, I'm going to search for Astra, and I'm going to use this one right here. Click Install, and then I'll click Activate. And now it is the active theme. You can see right here. If you want to delete other themes out of here that you're not using, you click on it, and then go to the lower right, click Delete, and OK to confirm it. You can do that for each one if you want to clean it up a little bit. And this is better to have only one theme actually active on the website in your appearance theme section. So what we can do from here is we can go down to where it says plugins, and plugins are kind of like apps for your website. So that gives you more functionality or more power. I'm going to go and delete these two right here and just click OK. And then I'm going to search for a new plugin by going to Add New, and I'm going to put Astra Starter Sites. And it will come up here, and it's going to be this first one, Astra Starter Sites. I'll install it now. And again, I'm going to click Activate. And here we can choose our builder that we want to use. Now I'm going to use Elementor in this case, but I actually like Brizy, and Gutenberg isn't the worst one to have as far as a blog goes, but I'm just going to use Elementor because we can then change some of the elements on our pages. And I'll click Next to go to the next section. And this is going to load a lot of different templates or demo or starter sites that we can start using right away. So if we go over to where it says free right here, we can get started with our free blog template here. If you scroll down, this one might look familiar, and that's what I showed at the start. We can go to preview if you want to see it again, and it has this home, blog, and contact. We can simply click import site to start loading the site in for our website site. Now this is going to take, it says between 2 and 10 minutes. I feel like it never takes that long, and it should probably take more like 45 seconds, and then we can start building out our site. So it's importing now, and it will be done shortly. I also wanted to just mention really quick that there is a paid version of Astra. If you're interested in that, you can use that as well. It has a lot more functionality, but this should be fine with making us a beautiful website. Alright, so it says import complete. If we want to, we can look and go click visit site, and now our final site for wpfundamentals.com looks just like this after we just imported that data right in with that starter site. So we already have our home, blog, contact, we have these social media icons, we have this image, we have a lot going on here, and we can just use this as kind of the template or the basis to edit the rest of the site. So now that we've got this all set up, let's dive in to start editing the site with some basic edits with the Elementor builder, and then we'll get into how to use the blog and change the blog and also set up a quick contact form as well. So let's cover that now. Alright, so to get started here, I'm just going to first X out of some of these windows here that we no longer need, like these ones. And if we want to, we can go right here and click X to get back to the dashboard area. This is called the dashboard here. So within the dashboard, we have so many different options on the left side here. I just wanted to go over what's important for you to know about when you're creating your blog. So to create blog posts, you're going to go into where it says Posts. But first, I want to show you how to rearrange the menu if you'd want to. So if we go to where it says Pages, we can click on that. And here are our pages. If you wanted to create a new page, you can do that. And right now we have the Home, Contact, and Blog on our site. Now this is just a sample page. This isn't actually in our menu. So to see what's active in the menu, we can go to where it says Appearance, Menus. And if we look over here, we have Home, Blog, Contact. If we see right here, Home, Blog, Contact. Now let's say you wanted to add another page. Over here is where your other pages that you just created in Pages, Add New would be. So let's say we want to add the sample page. We can add it right here to the menu. And I'll click Save. You want to make sure this primary menu is checked here. And then if I go and I refresh it, now we're going to see sample page is on here. Now let's say we want to remove that. We can click right here and remove it. And if you want to reorder them, you can go and just simply drag it and drop it. You got to hold it down, drag it and drop it, and reorder it. So now the contact page is after the home page. We'll hit Save. So we'll say Home, Contact, Blog. If we go over here, Home, Contact, Blog. So that's how you reorder the menu. I'm going to reorder it back to how it was and just click Save. But you can easily just reorder and add different pages to the menu. If you want a drop down, for example, you could just do this and slide it over so it's diagonal to the main page. So this now says sub item. So this would be under blog in a drop down menu. So right here, you can see it's Home, Blog with this drop down menu, and then Contact is under it right here. So that's how you could change that very easily and change the menu to be a drop down. So I'm just going to put it back to how it was, click Save again, and now we'll have the normal menu that we had before when we started this. So that's how you add a menu or change the menu elements. Now the other thing I want to go through here with Elementor is you can change so many different elements throughout the site. You can either click here where it says Edit with Elementor to get started, or you can go back into where it says Pages and then click Edit with Elementor within the pages themselves. So let's go up here and I'll click Edit with Elementor to get started. It takes a moment for this to load, and then once it loads, you're going to see that we have all these elements on the left side now that weren't there before. So that is what Elementor's free version has. Now there is a paid or a pro version which has a lot more elements that you can work with, and I do have a link to that in the description of the video if you're interested in getting it. It gives you a lot more functionality on your website, but this is plenty out of the box to get you started for free. So to add an element, let's just go down here to the bottom. We can see it says drag widget here, so we literally can just go and drag one over here and just drop it right on the site. Now we have these stars here. You can then edit it from here. So if this didn't pop up, you would just right click on it and click Edit Star Rating, and then this would come up on the side. You can choose the rating scale, you can choose if it's centered or not. You can do so many different things. Go to where it says Style, you can resize it, make it bigger. You can change the color right here. Let's just say we want it to be, I don't know, something like pink. And then if you're happy, you would just simply click update on it to have the changes go into effect. So you can do this with all different types of widgets here. You can choose the structure, and then you can choose to add them. If you click on it, then we're brought to this menu on the left side where you can add them. So let's just say you want to add text, and then over here you wanted to add an image, let's say. You can just drag it and drop it in here. Click on this, and you can choose an image from your library, or you can upload a file onto your site here. So I'll just click this one, insert it in, and if I wanted to, I could add in dummy text right here, and you can actually resize the text and do a lot with it right here on the screen as well. You can make it bold, underline, italicize. You can add links to it right here. You can choose the heading sizes. You can make a list, or you can go over here to where it says style, and you can rechange the style of a section. So let's say you wanted to change the typography to be something different. Let's just change it to be something that's going to be totally different looking right here. And then you can also go to where it says weight, and then you can make it larger or thicker. And there's lots of different options that you can do as far as changing the text and typography. You can actually change the color of it too. So let's say you want it to be a little more girly as well, with like a pinkish purplish color. You can do that as well, maybe make it hot pink. And I'll just click update, and that makes those changes go into effect. That's how easy it is to add elements and to edit them with the style section and the content section. So if we go up here to the top, let's say you want to change this picture as an example, we can right click on where it says edit section, click edit section right here, go to where it says style, and now we're going to see the image. So if I click on this, I'm going to be brought into the library. Let's say I want to add my own image. I'm just going to upload a file that I have on my computer already and hit select files. And I got this file from unsplash.com if you want to check that out. And here is something that I wanted to point out. So right now the title is Night Sky. You want the alternative text to describe the picture. This helps with your SEO or your search engine optimization. The more optimized this alt text is, it's going to help your viewers know what the image is about and help Google to know what the image is about. So if I was trying to rank for night sky for some reason, that's what I would want the alt text and the title to be. Now you don't want to go overboard with that, but you want to put it into place on your images. So this changes the whole look of the site here with adding this in the background. And then if I'm happy with it, I can go to update. Let's say I'm not happy with that change, though. I can go over here to where it says history, and then I can actually go back to different points throughout and remove changes that I made. So I'll just do this for now. I'll go back to here, and you can see that it went back to where I was editing the text. Maybe I want to go to here instead, and it will show the text was edited. Maybe I'll go to where it says this, and now the image is back in. So you can go through your history and make changes based on where you were and what changes you wanted to make by trying things out and seeing if it works and then going back if it doesn't. So it's pretty nice to have that feature. If you want to, you can change text right on the screen right here. Let's create our blog, and I'll just click update, and you can just change and edit text. You can edit links, everything you can edit right here on the screen. It's awesome to use. So once we've done that, I just wanted to show you one last thing here. Let's say you wanted to delete an element. I'll go down right here. Let's say you don't like that. You can actually right click and delete elements one by one within by right clicking on each one and delete, or you can go up here and actually click delete section right there to get rid of the entire section of elements. So that's the last thing I wanted to show you as far as the basics of the Elementor builder. Now I'm just going to click update, and we're pretty much done with showing the basics here. Next I'm going to get into how to actually add a post within the dashboard here. So let's go over to where it says posts on the left side, and I'm going to go over to this area right here. I'm going to go to exit to dashboard, and actually I can navigate back to the blog settings as well. So let's just go back to visit site. Sorry about that. And if we go to where it says blog, now we're on the blog page, and here is the blog post page. So let's go over how to start editing these posts here now. Alright, so in here we have these posts that are already displaying on the site. So if we go over, we can see it says street shopping tips right here, and then here is street shopping tips. So let's just go into this post and click edit, and I'm just going to show you a little bit about what's going on in here. So if we were to click on the actual post itself, let's bring it up, and we can see that it has this image here at the top. I want to show you as we're going through what it looks like. So on the featured image here on the right side, you can see that this image is the same one that's displaying right here. That is where your featured image will display. And then up here at the top says Street Shopping Tips. And that is right here, Street Shopping Tips. That's the title of the post itself. And then here's the content. Has a nice horizontal row right here. And then we have some images with some social media icons as well in this section, and then a comment section at the bottom. So let's just say you want to change some of these things. Let's say you want to remove one of these images because it's too much going on here. You can simply click on it, go to More Options, and then click Remove Block. And you may have seen that when we actually hovered over the image, we can see that there's this arrow on the left side here. So if you wanted to, you can actually move it up and then rearrange the structure of the images themselves. Another thing that you can do is you can actually go up here, and let's say you wanted to change this from being Street Shopping Tips and you wanted to make it say something like Future Fashion Trends. If that's what you want your article about, that's what you want the title to be up here as well. Now we can also go over how to add more elements. So if you go down here, it says Add Block. There's all different things that you can do. So you can add a heading, you can add a paragraph, image, gallery, list, quote, audio cover, file. These are the most used ones, and then there's also other formatting, layout elements, widgets, embeds. There's a lot that you can do within this Gutenberg editor here that's built right into WordPress for every WordPress theme to have. So out of the box, you can do that. If you want to add another image, you could simply click on that, go to Media Library, and we can just add in a random image here. Again, I would change the alternative text for whatever keywords you're focusing on and hit Select. And then if you wanted to, you could write a caption about it here. You can also go, and I'll go down to where it says Layout Elements, and I'll break it into columns here. So let's just start writing here, and I'll just write Fashion Trends. And here I'm going to break this one in, and I'll put an image in this one. So I can just upload an image from here again and add it in. And let's say I like it with the text on the left side and I don't really like this one. I can just click on this. I'll just delete it by removing the block. And now we have an image on the right side with text on the left. That's how you would set up something like they have up here going on with the images on the side of the text, because they chose a different layout when they were going through. Now you can also go and do a lot more things in here, but I just wanted to go over some of the things in the document section here on the right before we move along. So you can actually schedule a post right here. It says publish and then it says the date, but you can actually change it on the calendar to be a different date and time. So right now it says it was on March 14th, 2019. That's because that's when the theme created this. By default, normally yours would say whatever current day it is, and it would allow you to publish it or change the schedule of when it's going to be published and then update it by clicking schedule. Another thing that you can do down here is where it says discussion. You can choose if you want to allow comments or not on your actual post itself. So that's something you might want to disable if you don't want people commenting on your post. So I can just click update here once I'm happy with it. And then I wanted to go over and actually show you something in where it says settings and permalinks, because this is another important aspect that you should change. So you want to make sure, a lot of times it will say plain for your permalink structure, and that would say like your post that you just wrote about future fashion trends might say wpfundamentals.com/p=123, and that doesn't tell you anything about what the post is actually about. By having it under post name, make sure it says this and save it. It will go into a better structure for search engine optimization and for your user intent for people trying to find a specific post. So if the post is about future fashion trends, you want it to say future-fashion-trends in here rather than p=123, because no one knows what p=123 is about, but they do know what future-fashion-trends is about once they see that post. Now, another thing I wanted to go into real quick here is plugins. So let's go over to plugins and click add new. And plugins are kind of like apps on a smartphone. And if you want to add more functionality, we can add this one called Yoast up here if we search for it. It's this first one. We'll install it and then we'll activate it once it's ready. but this plugin itself is going to help you with keeping you on track for your search engine optimization of your blog post. If you want to have a chance at ranking in Google, this is a good place to start because you can get the right on-page optimization done. Now I know that might sound like a lot, but if we go over to where it says post, let's go back into our future fashion trends post here, and I'll click edit. And here it says future fashion trends as the title. So the permalink structure was still stuck on street shopping trends. So let's edit that. I'm going to paste that in here, save it, and now it says future fashion trends for the permalink structure. And what I'm going to do is go down to the bottom here, and now we have Yoast SEO. So it says focus keyword. I'm going to put in future fashion trends. Now see, these faces are orange for readability and SEO. That's because they can be improved. It goes from a scale from red to orange to green, green being the best. So right here you can click on SEO analysis and it will give you an idea of what you can improve on your website. So it says there's 6 problems, 3 that could be improved, and 4 that are good results. So it talks about outbound links, internal links, things like that. So you can link from one page to another in your website, and it does help as far as your article's strength goes. Another thing you can do is look at keyword density. So it says the focus keyword was found 0 times, and it should be a minimum of 2 times based on the length of the text here. So if we go up here, we can go and add it right here into the post. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to paste in future fashion trends right at the start, and then I'm just going to also paste it again down here just so it's in there 2 times. Now if we go down here, we can see that now it says keyword density is green. The focus keyword was found 2 times. This is great. So we improved it. Now we have, instead of 6 problems, it actually went down to 4, and from here it went from 4 good results to 6. So we improved 2 different categories by doing that, because we also put it in the first section of the site, which is another thing that can be beneficial. So you can go and optimize this based on what it's talking about here and add in different things to improve the site overall for the SEO. Now another thing you can do is go to snippet, and this is what you're going to see within Google. So if we click edit snippet, a slug is basically what was on the end of the URL, so it says future fashion trends. That's what we want. And here in your meta description is what's going to show up under your link. You have this preview here of what it would look like within Google or a search engine. So you might want to say, this is my preview of future fashion trends for the upcoming year. I hope you enjoy this post and learn about what's popular. And you can see as we write more, the bar gets to a green state. You want it to be at least in the green, and you don't want it to go past this, because then you have too many letters showing up and it will be cut off within a search engine. So it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. This is a great thing to have, and you want to see that this bold word here is the word that we're targeting here. It's great to see that bold. So you have future fashion trends here. The article name is future fashion trends. If you uploaded an image as your featured image, you'd want the alternative text to say future fashion trends. You'd want a heading for heading 1 up here to be future fashion trends. So once you do this, you're telling Google that you're trying to rank for future fashion trends. You're making no mistake about it. You don't want to overload it. You don't want to put the phrase in here 10 times or something. I would say around 1 per 300 words in general is pretty good, 1 time. But it's really up to you, and I would use Yoast down here as a reference almost to help you stay on track. So that's why this plugin is great, and it's totally worth having if you're a blogger. So we can just click update. If we go back over here, we're going to refresh the street shopping tips post, and we can now see it says future fashion trends as the title. It's right here as an H1 at the start, and you have the comment section down here. You can disable that if you want. So that's how you change a blog post and you set up Yoast SEO to help you out. The other thing I wanted to go over before we wrap this up is the contact form. So right now we have this name, email, comment, and message, but it's actually not going to go to us in most cases unless we change some of the things in the forms. So if we go over to where it says WP Forms on the left side, we have a contact form. I'm just going to add a new one. I'm going to create a new one from scratch to just show you, and I'll create a simple contact form. Now, if you wanted to, you literally could just set this up And if you want it name, email, and comment or message, you would just need to go to settings and notifications here and verify that your email address that you want the email to go to is put in here, and you can save it just like this. And once you do that, you'd be happy with it. But I wanted to be able to show you that we can actually add in other elements into the form itself. So right here it says name, email, comment, or message. That's what this one says. So let's add in something so I can show you how to actually add the form and that it does look a little bit different. So I added in some checkboxes, some multiple choice, and I'll just click save here, and then I'm going to exit back. And this was called simple contact form. So what we're going to need to do is go over here and get this short code. We'll just highlight it and copy it. And then we'll go back over to where it says contact. On the contact page, we'll click edit with Elementor. And there's going to be a short code already in here as like the default or dummy one. So what we're going to do is actually delete that. We're going to highlight it, delete it, and we're going to paste our own in there that we just created. And now we'll click update. So you can see it's 1950. And 1950 is the ID of the short code I just created. So if we want to preview the changes, we can click right here, preview changes, and now we can see that it's our contact form with the checkboxes, the multiple choice, and I did that just to show you that it is different than the one that was there just a second ago. So that's how we would add a contact form to this page. So that about wraps up the site itself. We went over how to make some edits on the home page and change things like the text, images. We went into editing a blog post with this future fashion trends post, and I just showed you how to quickly change a contact form here. And again, you can edit all these images and text with Elementor very easily. So I just wanted to say thanks for watching this video on how to create a blog on WordPress. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to check out my other videos and consider subscribing to my channel here. And again, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.